Old Mutual, founded in 1845 in Cape Town, is a global long-term savings insurance and investment group.
Indeed, it has assets, if you could believe it, of 350 billion pounds. I did some calculations. You don't even want to know how many rands that is. Headquartered in London, of course, because it internationalized its business after 94. Market capitalization, pretty formidable as well, 195 billion rand.
A dividend yield here of 4.4. So we can't ignore this one if you want exposure to the insurance game.
Correct. And Old Mutual, I mean, obviously it's still got significant interest in South Africa, the life insurance operator, and of course Nedbank, but they are the most globally diversified of the really big traditional players. They have got interests virtually all over the world. Of course, they went overseas massively with a huge amount of money, 10, 12, 15 years ago, and they lost a huge amount of money, but they have recovered fully from that.
Capital misallocation of the time.
They wasted a lot of money, but of course they were caught out by the global financial crisis, so not too hard on them. But they have fully recovered from that. They've consolidated the business. They've disposed of a lot of things overseas, but they've also kept a lot. And in fact, they've been actually very, very successful.
Let's get the share price graph up now, Paul, because I think what Wayne has just spoken about is demonstrated in the performance here.
Indeed. So in the financial crisis, they went right down to around 4 rand a share. We're only looking at the last 5 years here, but you can see it's been one-way traffic moving higher. Following, of course, global markets, which have gone higher. So if you aggregate assets and you earn a solid 1.5%, 2% per annum on them, obviously you're going to continue to do well. You've got the Nedbank thing in there. They've sorted out the US thing. They listed that asset management business. They've sold off bits of Scandia that they didn't want. They're now seen in London as a preeminent pick if you want to get access and exposure to emerging market insurance, because of course they have South Africa and they're expanding fast in West and East Africa and other places.
Wayne, where can this share go? If you were to put it into your portfolio right now, is there significant upside over the long term?
Very similar to most of the people. Let's put Discovery and clientele life aside for a little bit. These are all massive asset gatherers, huge reserves. They earn a return on the reserves. So if you want them in your portfolio, which I think they are very good to have, you're going to get solid dividend, maybe a little bit boring, maybe the earnings potential is not massive, but the ability to compound dividends is in fact very positive for the share over time. So don't buy this. It's not a Naspers, it's nothing exciting, but they're actually incredibly good shares, all of them in fact.
Paul, it's not a Naspers. I think that's important for you, considering Naspers is the overriding story on the market.
Indeed, and that is interesting in and of itself. Although, could it not be argued that with its footprint of businesses, say in West Africa, which are very underinsured, I would imagine, could it not see some exponential or explosive growth, don't you think, Wayne?
It's possible, but on such a big base, you've got to show proper growth. So although the growth might be impressive in new territories it's going into, to make an impression on the big animal is very difficult.
So you're saying steady as she goes on this one. Don't expect it to shoot the lights out anytime soon.
I want to ask Wayne one final question that's about management transition, because we know Julian Roberts has been at the helm in the recovery phase.
Yes.
Now we have a South African, Bruce Hemphill, ex-Liberty man. How do you think he's going to do?
Well, as long as he keeps it going straight and he doesn't try and do what previous management has done and really become a massive global player and overspend, as long as he manages the business, relatively smallish acquisitions, good solid growth, I don't see any major change to the company.
Hot or not, Paul?
I'm going to call it hot. I like the outlook for markets currently, and I like the growth formula. I do accept Wayne's observation that they can be a little dull, but dull is not bad, so I'm going hot.
Hot or not?
I'll go hot as well.